We are now 5 wide. Presented by Quick Trip's quality gasoline guarantee. It's just another way Quick Trip has you covered.
9 to noon, ready to go. We are 4 wide today. Butchie is off, but John Kuhn is back from his glorious staycation in God's country, Door County. Good morning, Kuhn. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great, and I'm here to absolutely declare staycation better than vacation.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
But it's better.
Hot take alert.
I tell you what, there's a case to be made, though, for this.
100% there is.
You know, a lot of reasons.
For Armin, the man who constantly gets boned by American Airlines every time he flies.
Whoa.
You've not had...
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I get boned.
You have not had a
Do
clean American Airlines flight in how many trips now?
Long time, because I try to avoid them now, but
what's insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over.
And expecting different
Different
results
Yep.
is the key word.
So you're right. I mean, at this point, I don't expect it, but I still take the cheapest flight. Sometimes if it's American.
Right. And you know why? Because then you can just complain. Because that's what we do. We
All
just
right.
complain.
Well, it is
All right,
content.
let me throw this up on the talk and text line. Staycation, greater sign, vacation?
Yes.
Question mark?
Well, let's talk
Yes.
about the positives first, right?
No, let's talk about
Let's
the
do it.
situation first.
Okay.
Well, let's do a tail.
got
of the tail
kids.
first
Wait, why
and
don't you
foremost.
guys let Zabe figure out which way we're going?
Sorry,
Goodness gracious, what's going on here?
No, it's
apologies.
okay.
It's a
I don't mind. These are
takeover
all-
on 4 wide. The monkeys are all worked up.
So, on the one hand, not going anywhere and not doing anything is extremely underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
I look forward to, I think on Saturday I told my wife, I go, I have nowhere to be today. I'm not planning anything. I'm not going to do anything big. I'm just going to knick-knack around the house, enjoy the AC, maybe take a nap. Who knows? Watch some golf. I got nothing. I needed a nothing day. And a staycation is a string, right, Kuhn?
It's a string.
Of nothing days.
It's a string of nothing days, or it's a string of everything you've been wanting to do that you haven't done.
Like get done or
knick-knacking,
yeah.
Mhm.
sorting, fixing,
Knick-knacking,
noodling.
sorting, maybe taking a boat ride that you haven't found time to take a boat ride,
But
playing
well-
playing around to golf without having to rush home to get work done, because now you have to slam the work in the afternoon. You got plenty of time, plenty of days to get that done. Just so many glorious things that you can do. But here, my biggest take on staycation versus vacation is you don't waste a minute. You don't waste a day. Vacations, especially from Wisconsin, you're wasting at minimum, half a day's travel there, half a day's travel back. You got a full day wasted in travel. A lot of vacations you take, you need a vacation from the vacation. When you get back, you're
That
like,
is
oh my
true.
God, I'm exhausted. I need a day to recover. You don't need to recover from staycations.
That's the biggest
No
thing.
recovery necessary.
That's true.
okay.
There's a lot to be said for it.
It-
Okay, Josh, jump in.
This is so wrong. I hate to harmonize, but the staycation is completely based on your situation. Okay. First of all, not everyone on a staycation can go out on a boat ride. Okay. A lot of
Yeah,
times when
they
I'm
don't have
staying
a
at home, I don't
sweet-ass
have a
cabin
boat
in
or
Door
I'm not
County
on a lake.
But
Right.
it's an
And you're
example.
at your
It's an example.
vacation house. So that I don't even know that the staycation counts if you're at your vacation home. Okay. I would call that a vacation, not a staycation. Second of all, staycations aren't great if you got kids. Okay. Then you're still taking care of your kid. You're running around, you're doing all these other things. A Viking weekend when
I
you're
don't
at
know.
home and everyone else is gone. Now that is
Kuhn,
glorious. That's a
Did your
way different
glorious
situation.
children, did your sweet little monsters ruin your staycation? I don't think they did.
No. See, you got to
Probably enjoyed
compare.
being with them.
You got to compare apples to apples here, Josh. You're comparing a Viking vacation by yourself
Mhm.
to a staycation with kids. No, you got to compare a vacation with kids to a staycation.
Whoa.
That's fair.
with
That's
kids.
fair. Those are very
let's
different
get the
things.
terms. Let's get the terms specific and accurate. A Viking weekend is when you're home alone with no supervision.
Okay.
Yeah.
A Viking vacation would be when you're away from home,
Mhm.
unsupervised.
Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
But to be honest, I never heard of a Viking vacation.
Right.
Like Drew and KB always
It's a
to me,
guy's trip.
coined the
It's a
Viking.
guy's trip.
Guy's
Marvin.
trip, yeah.
It's
But
a
the
guy's
Viking,
trip.
but the Viking, their idea of a Viking weekend was like you don't use any utensils, you don't change
Well,
your
you're a
clothes.
slob. You're a slob. 'Cause,
Yeah,
you know,
you live
didn't
like
matter.
like a slob.
Live like a Viking.
Sure,
But you're right, Coon.
plunder.
There is a difference between, like if you're going on a family vacation, a lot of times that's super stressful. You got to fit all this stuff in. You got to make the most of it. You're never stopping. It's
packing.
completely different.
It's double the
arrangements.
price because you got more
Expense.
heads that you're paying
Ding ding!
for.
That you
Every
finally
little thing.
hit on the best part of a staycation. It's cheaper.
Way
It's
cheaper.
much cheaper.
Way cheaper. Armin.
You're making money because in theory, if you have paid vacation, which you should, I mean, because it's hopefully you're being treated well by an employer. If you have paid vacation, you are making money by not having to spend it. You're not losing money on the vacation. You're making it. See, I like that. I like the fact that, you can not have to spend as much money. It is nice.
Okay. But what if your home is not exactly the most glamorous or glorious?
What if you live in
places
a
to
1-bedroom
be?
apartment?
It's still your sanctuary. Everyone likes being home. Home is where the heart is, I mean, I had a
Yeah, but they
great
might not view
vacation.
it as a staycation.
I had a
man.
great vacation this summer. I went to a place I'd never been, but I could not wait to be home. Like, I mean, that is, and I said, man, I could do a couple days
Yeah,
here
but
at home.
But that's still way different. That's a different thing. What you're saying is you went somewhere, you went on a vacation, and then went, oh, but it's good to be home. This
So
is you're looking forward to just sitting in your house.
A lot of people like sitting at home and watching
Staycation
TV.
doesn't mean you have to sit in the house. It just means you wake up in your own bed
True.
and then you can go out and do whatever you want to do in your town.
Like, what if I want to take a walk?
Staycation with Summerfest.
Right,
That's a staycation.
Great example.
That's a great staycation
That's-
right there.
used
Holy cow.
Drew
Yeah.
used to do it for 2 straight weeks when it was together. Drew used to take weeks off and go to Summerfest every day. But
Yeah.
way back in the day, he would tell this story all the time. Like for me, it's like maybe Josh, I want to go on a walk, but it would take more time, and I'm not going to walk around the block because I got to be home. I take my walks, Maybe
Yeah.
I want to go on the lakefront, and they would spend more time. That's still a staycation, but you're doing something, I'm just saying.
Have you guys seen both you, Josh, and you, Kuhn, because you're both Disney veterans, the story about how Disney's average wait time continues to plummet for rides, and that visitors, foot traffic to the happiest place on earth, as they say, continues to slump?
I
You
can't
see
wait.
that story?
Let that thing hit rock
Exactly.
bottom. And then I'll be there,
Exactly,
baby. And then I'm
Let's
going.
go.
Like,
Hit rock bottom.
That's
I'm
right.
buying. I'm getting all in at
Telling
that
everyone
point in
else
time.
to sell.
like the housing.
Sell.
Yes.
It's like
So
everyone's waiting for that housing
in
crisis.
2019, what do you think the average wait time was? This is
I was
just
there.
before the
I was there.
pandemic.
2.5 hours. 2.5
Couldn't
hours.
tell you
I was there.
that.
2.5 hours. 2.5 hours.
Average.
No, that's too much
Average
for an
wait
average
time.
ride. I'm gonna
Josh,
say
what do you think the average wait time is? I bet
Josh,
Julie
the
knows this
teacups
cold.
were a damn hour. The teacups.
but that's what I'm saying. You got to average it out, So there are rides that no one goes on.
No. There aren't any rides that nobody goes on because everybody goes to the short lines. Then they end up being long.
I'm gonna go 90 minutes.
Wow, that's a lot. It was 47 minutes, which is still an excruciatingly long.
God, that's
And
not bad
and
at
I
all.
don't
An
believe
average
that. I don't
ride.
believe that for a second.
Well,
You have to
that's
think of the
average,
one-
Kuhn. So the
right.
more popular rides are an hour plus, easy.
I
47
understand.
minutes.
But when do they take
Okay.
the
These are-
average?
The average. This is averaging in rainy days when people stay home from the park and there aren't
Morning.
anybody. And yeah,
Well, that's probably why the average is lower than you think. Yeah. So you're
Yes.
right. A peak day, good weather average is higher than this. These averages are collected by an app called, I forget what the name of the app is, but pretty much Disney's not going to reveal their internal numbers. But this app was able to suss out that Disney's in a slump right now because they see the average wait times going down from their app that
Listen,
people use.
I was
Going
at
down.
Disney. I was at Disney during COVID, and other than getting yelled at for pulling my mask down to eat a pretzel
I
and
remember
cheese,
that.
other than that,
I remember that.
it was so glorious. The rides were so much
Okay.
shorter. People you weren't all up each other's behinds. It was so much
Mhm.
better. Yeah, I'm waiting for rock bottom.
Okay.
Josh, no doubt.
So
Yep. I'm
so
with you,
hold
pal.
on. So 47 minutes was the time in 2019. Post-pandemic 2022, last year was the first year it was kind of fully back up and going, right?
Ooh, last
What do you
year
think the
was
wait time had plummeted to off of 47 minutes?
Well,
Take a
based
guess.
on that, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
18 minutes.
I don't believe I was there last year
39,
too.
39.
I was there last year too.
31.
No chance.
31.
I'm looking
Yeah,
at the
okay,
wait times
okay,
right
okay.
now, today, right now.
Yeah,
in Magic
what are the
Kingdom.
wait
I got
times?
it.
What are the
What
wait
are they?
times?
What are they today?
Name a ride. So you
Teacups.
The Space
start,
Mountain.
Just start
Seven Dwarfs.
listening.
Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is at 55 minutes.
It's
Oh,
July.
that is short.
Oh,
That is incredibly
So
short.
That's
That
so
is
short.
the shortest time I've ever heard for Seven Dwarfs.
It's a mi-
Oh,
But if you're
That
gonna
is
do
the for it to be 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well, no, the doors just opened, Josh. It's 10 o'clock. The doors literally just opened.
oh,
It's 10
right.
o'clock.
So,
They-
but this is what I'm saying, Kuhn. This is why this whole thing,
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
I don't either. Seven Doors is at 55 minutes in the first 11 minutes of the doors opening.
Well, it's because
if I
everyone
may,
rope drops. They all go to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train right away.
What's the
okay,
teacups?
if I may,
Tony?
Kuhn, if I may, don't get hung up on whether you believe these average times or not. Just follow the trend.
He's
I'm
believing
following.
he's getting
7
hung
minutes.
up, Dave. He's hung up.
Follow
on
the
it.
I am
trend.
hung up.
All right. Follow the trend from 47 minutes pre-pandemic to 31 minutes, which is a huge drop in 2022 when there should be pent-up demand that is lifting the number back up to this year's number is down to 27 minutes.
There's a
So
point
the
where it's not-
decline is continuing instead of rebounding. And the so-called travel experts say it's a combination of one,
Price.
the exorbitant prices,
That's it
two,
right there.
the sweltering Florida summer, and three, other options like travel to Europe, etc. And I said, those things have been around forever. You
Not the
can't
price.
blame this on stuff that
Right.
has existed. Europe didn't exist, didn't just pop into existence last
We're-
year.
we're
one
getting
great,
It's
one
been
great result of
price.
the pandemic, Europe. It all of a sudden,
Europe,
all of a sudden
People were like,
popped up out
"Oh,
of nowhere.
I can take my kids to the actual Eiffel Tower for cheaper. Wow.
I
let's do
told
that
you
instead.
the price of a gondola ride in Venice was half the price of the one at the Venetian in Vegas.
Right.
But you know what's funny?
So-
There is
so
a
here-
point
but
where
here's-
the price is
yeah.
too high. You can't sustain anymore. They're getting too exorbitant. That's my point.
But buried in the story, and you had to read for it, you had to dig for it. Buried in the story. Most profitable year
Well, sure.
yet
Money it's
on
price.
their parks. They
Wait,
cleared
ever?
something like, yes, they cleared like
Wow.
9.2 billion on all of their theme parks worldwide. And that is up from 7.8 billion or something like that pre-pandemic. So in other words, traffic's down, profits are up. Chapek, that stooge, is out.
Yeah, they got rid
Iger's
of him.
back in.
Yep.
The free parking is back. Chapek was like, let's charge people to park.
He's the
And
worst.
that pissed a lot of people off.
Dude was the worst.
Shocker.
But
He
you know
was
what?
the
It's
worst.
becoming this way. Well, I don't know how. Maybe the Disney overseas parks are doing better. We're talking about Disney. Maybe
It
you're
is
talking about
worldwide.
Disney.
Yeah.
So I think it's becoming this way where they're just trying to increase price margins higher to attract a different type of clientele. They're trying to attract people that can
Really?
afford it.
I'm going to tell you
the
my
every-
everyman is
The
being
average
pushed
family.
out. The everyman is being pushed out, and we're forced to staycation.
Here's what I'm thinking is going on, and I'd have to talk to Julie about this because she knows.
She's the expert.
She's laughing at us right now as we're trying to talk about this.
She's got a whole website.
Yeah,
going.
she's got her own website now trying to help people with this
Yeah.
stuff. But I think it's because millennials, my generation, right? We grew up on Disney. And so
Sure.
when now that your kid, if you have kids and they're getting older like Jordy is when he's 6, what do you want to do? You want to take those kids to experience all the things that you loved, especially if they also like them. So it's fun for both. It's not so like I feel like my parents, they didn't watch the movies. They just went because they knew I'd have fun.
Right. That was for the kids. It wasn't
Yeah.
for you. Now it's for the adult and the kids.
Right.
And they're
So
selling to
doubling
adults,
up.
but they're also selling gear to adults that they would have only sold to kids back then.
Exactly.
My dad would never have bought a Mickey Mouse hat, but now you're gonna get one. A
I'm getting
snapback.
it all.
Right.
Buy all the
You
merch.
get my point?
Buy all the gear.
My
I
dad went in
remember-
his dress pants and
I
his
only
short
went to-
sleeve white dress shirt. That's
I
what
only
he-
went to Disney one time, and it was with another family. They took me to Disney with them as my buddy's guest, right?
As a kid,
Oh,
you
that's
only
amazing.
went
As a
one
kid,
time.
you've
You
gone
went
multiple
with your
times with me.
As a
family
kid-
pre-pandemic.
Yeah, I went with my
Or
family.
during the pandemic.
I've taken my kids a bunch, but I've only gone
Are you-
one time. I went with another family, a buddy of mine played football with, and his dad didn't even go to the parks. I mean, that was so old school in the
That's so
90s.
smart.
We showed up. The
What do you
dad
do?
went. What do you think he did in
Golf.
Florida
Golf.
in March? He went
Oh, I don't know.
golfing.
Maybe he sat on the porch of the Motel 6 and smoked all day.
Yeah.
He could have done that.
Maybe he had a
old school dad.
staycation.
Ronnie Venable could have done that. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt.
Oh, Mr.
He
Venable.
didn't
living
even
the
show up
life
at the
here.
parks. We went with Pat. She took us to the parks. Mom was there with the two kids running from ride to ride, and Dad was golfing. It was the way it should always
I think
have been
that's
and should
great.
always still be.
We went once.
I think that's great.
We went once. It wasn't like my sister and I were big on Disney, but we did once as a family go to Florida one time for Disney. And I remember like we got to the park and like the prices. I remember my dad like looking at these prices, like considering like, should we really be paying this money? But we did do it, of course. He's not gonna all go all the way to Florida and not do it. But we went to Six Flags. We had Great America right in our backyard. That was just as it was
Don't
good enough.
say that.
It was
not just
Armin,
as good.
Armin,
if you're in the rides.
You know what it was? That was the meme of, can we go to Disney World? We have Disney World at home. And your Disney World at home was Six Flags.
But
It
to
was
us,
not even close.
to us,
the
that
same.
was cool. That was cool. Yeah, it was Looney Tunes. It wasn't Disney, but still, you know,
Hey,
you had the
Armin,
characters.
can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Since we hear about your dad and we know about your dad so
Sure.
well on the
Yeah.
show, would you say your dad's more like Jerry Seinfeld's dad or more like George Costanza's dad?
Well, that's a great question.
That is a really good
I need
question.
time to think about that. But I think Seinfeld's
Yeah, I
dead.
stumped Armin. I
You did.
stumped Armin. That never happened.
You did. There should be an award for that.
Remember when Morty Seinfeld was mad because someone took the tape? And like that was my dad. Like, who stole the tape? So one year for Christmas, we wrapped up like 20 things of tape, and it was pretty funny. That was
good story.
All
Thank
right,
you. Well, I'm
round
just
the
trying to,
horn.
you know.
Round the horn. Kuhn, are you done going to Disney with your kids? Yes or no?
Probably for a little while. We made the decision this year, first year in 5 years,
Wow.
not to go to Disney, and we probably won't go back next year for
Mhm.
sure. For sure.
Your children are what ages?
6 and 8.
Yeah, he's got
Wow.
another trip in you.
Yeah, you
Armin,
Oh
do
yeah,
you plan
definitely.
to
I'll
go?
go again, but not for
Do
a
you
while.
plan to go with Laura and
No.
or when you guys have kids, God willing?
Laura and I are not really into it ourselves, so we wouldn't go unless our kids really wanted to. And if we did, it'd be when our kids were old enough to remember it. I'm not taking my kids when they're 2 and they're not going to remember it. Sorry, Josh.
All right. And now for Josh, the answer is not will you? It's how many
Yeah.
more will Julie insist you guys go?
Well, we're going in August. So there's that. And then we're going to Disney World in September, or Disneyland in September.
Land in September. So wait, you already went to Disney this winter.
Yes. Yes, we did.
Are you a part of the Disney vacation group? Are you part?
No.
No.
No, Julie has an annual pass though. So
that's
she,
why she went.
Yeah.
She went.
yeah.
All right.
So
We talked
she
about
not
that.
only
You
we
are
not only
locked
goes
in.
family, she goes alone. She loves it.
Laura and I
It's her
said,
happy place.
like, we'd rather go to Vegas, which is the adult Disney, I think. Wouldn't you say it's Disney
Yes.
for adults? Yeah. So
Yes.
There you
Although I don't know, Vegas right now, it's in a weird spot. They're gouging the living crap out of people because they're trying to make up for
it's
the
the
pandemic.
it's the same deal as it's not
It's the same thing as Disney World, exactly the
But
same.
go
Yeah.
to Excalibur. It's not that different.
No, I will not go to Excalibur. I will not go to Luxor. Rhymes with Suxor. I'm still traumatized from the free trip I got out there to the Luxor, where guys were walking the hallways with pit bulls, and 3 of the 4 elevators were down, and it took an hour to get down to the lobby. But wonderful place. It was such a dump that the women's tournament had a team, Connecticut,
Yeah.
say, "We're not staying here," and they moved to another hotel. They should implode that one, implode Excalibur. Keep going until you get rid of all
They
the
should
dead
just
wood
build 12
property
more
on the south
spheres.
end of the strip.
You need budget
Build more
options.
spheres.
Just
Keep the
building
MGM
spheres.
South Strip up. We need budget options for people.
Real talk, though, for all the trash that I talk on Disney, I'll go there over Vegas any day.
Thank you.
Really?
I've never been there.
Okay.
Wow.
That's fine. I mean, hey, everyone's maybe I don't go to Disney enough to know. I don't know.
You've never been?
rent your cabin out on Airbnb? Could I rent that thing? It
No,
sounds
no,
sweet. No,
sorry.
not at all.
You can come to my condo.
No, that'd be a vacation. He only does staycation.
Got to come to your condo and start committing violations with the multicolors and the feeding the birds.
By the way,
and
I
get
can't-
you all in trouble.
I can't park in my driveway or my garage the next 2 days because they're doing some repaving or something. So we have to go park all the way into phase 2. We have to park in phase 2 and walk. And Laura
Go
goes,
take some sidewalk chalk and draw some very questionable chalk erotica on your driveway and see what your HOA says.
Yeah, artist Armin.
I'm looking for volunteers on how to spruce up the pond area. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I pay a condo fee.
Volunteers on sprucing up. Sounds like hard work. Weeding, mulching, limbing, mowing, string trimming. Fungool to that. All right, boys, tag you're in. 9 to noon is next. Josh, great job as always. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow.